The wedding hall shimmered with candlelight and soft music, packed with laughter, clinking glasses and flower petals scattered across the aisle. Daniel Reyes, 32, stood near the altar in a custom navy tux, surrounded by guests, yet miles away in thought. Today was supposed to be perfect. He was marrying Clara, the woman he'd dated for 3 years, a strong, kind partner who had supported him through the ups and downs of his rising career. But as the music shifted and the bridesmaids began to enter, something strange happened. A woman walked in. She wore a pale lavender dress matching the bridal theme, her hair swept into a loose bun, and her eyes stopped him cold. Daniel blinked once, twice. His heart dropped to his stomach. No, it can't be. But it was. Sophia Mendez, his first love, the girl who used to sit beside him on the school bus, the one he promised to wait for before life pulled them apart without warning. She was Clara's sister? Sophia froze when she saw him. Their eyes locked. Years of silence collapsed into one long stare across the wedding aisle. He stepped back, breath stolen. And suddenly, this wasn't just a wedding anymore. It was a reunion with the one person he had tried to forget. And never could. Daniel barely made it through the ceremony rehearsal. His hands were shaking. Every smile felt forced, every breath shallow. He couldn't stop glancing at Sophia. She kept her distance, doing her duties, adjusting flower arrangements, checking on Clara, but never once coming near him. But after dinner, as guests mingled and music played low in the background, he finally stepped away from the crowd and found her alone on the garden terrace. She was standing beneath the string lights, staring up at the stars, just like she used to. He walked toward her slowly. Sophia. She turned, her expression unreadable. So it really is you, she said quietly. I thought maybe it was a dream. He took a shaky breath. I didn't know Clara was your sister. And I didn't know I'd walk into this wedding and find you waiting at the altar. A pause, then, softly, You look the same, she added. Except taller and sadder. Daniel looked down. I looked for you for years. I know, she whispered. I saw the messages. I just couldn't answer. She told him about the move, the sudden shift in her family, how her parents had kept them moving, always running, always hiding from something she didn't understand until she was older. By the time I could reach out, I thought, maybe it was better if I stayed gone. Daniel swallowed hard. You weren't just my first love, Sophia. You were everything. I didn't just lose you. I lost who I was when I was with you. Her eyes filled with tears, but she turned away. This isn't your moment to say that, Daniel. You're marrying my sister tomorrow. The truth hung heavy in the air, and the silence between them said what words couldn't. They were standing in the middle of a heartbreak neither of them had ever finished writing. And now, it was too late. The night before the wedding, Daniel sat alone in his hotel room, staring at his reflection in the mirror. His tie was still on. His phone was off. And his mind was completely with Sophia. How could the past feel more real than the future he was about to step into? He had loved Clara, yes. She had been steady, loyal, patient. But with Sophia, it had been different. It was never planned, never perfect, but it had been real. The next morning, the wedding venue buzzed with excitement. Clara was radiant, laughing with bridesmaids, unaware of the storm unraveling just a few doors away. Sophia stayed quiet. She helped tie ribbons, smoothed Clara's dress, smiled in the photos. But when no one was looking, her hands trembled. Just before the ceremony, Daniel found her in a quiet hallway, hidden behind a set of curtains, staring at the ground. I need to talk to you, he said, voice barely steady. She looked up, trying to smile. You shouldn't be here. Sophia, I never stopped loving you, even when I thought I had, even when I tried to move on. She shook her head. Don't do this. I have to, he whispered, because I can't walk up that aisle pretending I don't see you, pretending we never happened. Tears slipped down her cheek. This is my sister's wedding, and I'm supposed to marry her. But how can I when I just found the part of me I lost years ago? Sophia backed away. If you say anything now, you'll destroy her. Daniel's hands fell to his sides. Then tell me what to do, because every part of me is torn in two. She looked at him one last time, eyes filled with love, regret, and every word she couldn't say. Do what's right, she said softly, even if it hurts. Then she turned and walked away, leaving Daniel standing in a hallway full of flowers, seconds away from a wedding, and drowning in a choice no vow could fix. The music started. Guests rose from their seats. Clara stood at the end of the aisle, beaming, holding her father's arm. The light from the stained glass windows poured in behind her like something out of a painting. And Daniel? He stood at the altar, motionless. His eyes scanned the crowd once, then found Sophia, sitting in the second row, clutching her bouquet a little too tightly, eyes low. Everything felt like it was moving too fast. The memories, the years, the feeling of home he had only ever found in her. Clara reached the altar, handed off her bouquet, and smiled at him. You okay? She whispered. He hesitated, then nodded. But it wasn't real. When the officiant reached the part that asked him to speak, Daniel froze. The words didn't come. Everyone looked at him, waiting. Seconds stretched like hours. Finally, he whispered, I'm sorry. Gasps echoed through the hall. Clara's smile faltered. What? Daniel stepped back, shaking. I can't do this. Not like this. You deserve all of someone, Clara. And part of me is still with someone else. He looked directly at Sophia. The room erupted. Whispers. Shock. Clara's father stepping forward, the officiant frozen mid-sentence. But Daniel never broke his gaze. Later that evening, he found Sophia outside the venue, standing beneath a tree, her eyes red. You shouldn't have done that, she whispered. I had to, he said, because I lost you once, and if I walked away again, I'd never forgive myself. She shook her head, overwhelmed. You ruined everything. No, he said gently. I finally told the truth. A long silence passed. Then, softly, Sophia whispered. So, what now? Daniel reached out, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. Now we start over. No promises, no perfect endings, just us, and the truth we ran from for too long. And as they stood together in the dark, hurt, uncertain, but finally honest, they both knew. Love doesn't always follow the aisle. Sometimes, it walks back in through the side door.